Hey guys, it's Bina, and today I want to talk about all the changes that happened in patch 1.1.0 for the launch of Season 1 of Diablo 4, and everything that concerns the Druid specifically, because that is the class that I've played exclusively since the launch. So, I'm going to go over everything that changed for Druid that has an impact for us, every single build that was affected or not. Is your build completely nerfed to the ground? Is your build still fine? Or has your build been buffed without even you knowing it? All right. So first thing first, one thing that changed, kind of like a stealth nerf I thought at the start, and Venom here. You and your companions gain 10% plus bonus critical strike damage against poisoned enemies. In the previous patch, this was an X in between the things. So it was a 10% X per point, and now it's 10% plus. So that should mean that it's 10% additive and not 10% multiplicative. But Blizzard just doesn't know how to make tooltips, and they changed the correct tooltip that was 10% X for multiplicative for 10% plus. It is still multiplicative. I have tested this, like triple check my testings, and this is still multiplicative, guys. So you will still want to get plus levels of Envenom on your amulets, for example, because that is going to be if you're using a critical strike damage build for sure. So this is still a huge damage buff, and you will still want to get this. So that is one thing. In your spirit boons here, Avian Rat says gain 30% X, which should be multiplicative critical strike damage. This is still 30% additive damage. So I think they just mix up X and plus, and like they don't know what they're talking about, just like what they do with the Grizzly Rage here. So maybe for critical strike damage, their tooltips are like the opposite of what they're supposed to be. Like the 10% X crit is like additive, and 10% plus is like multiplicative. Who knows, you know? But yeah. So what you need to remember is Envenom is still good to get on your amulet. It is still multiplicative. Avian Rat here on your spirit boons is additive, so you don't want to take this. It's basically useless if you are using your rampaging werebeast aspect that gives you 99 stacks of 10%, so 990% critical strike damage. Yeah, so that is it for Envenom and Avian Rat. One little stealth nerf that they did as well is you know those rare monsters that drop pale tongues and like all the rare monster parts. So for example, there's one. The ones for pale tongues are here in Hawazar. There's one here, and there's one right there. These used to drop 5 pale tongues per kill. Now I don't know. I found one. I found two, but they certainly don't drop 5 anymore. So in the hardcore race, for example, I was planning on maybe going and kill one of these once to get like 5 Peltongs and be able to craft my Elixir of Dead Evasion. But unfortunately, I won't be able to do this. So I'm going to have to do something else, maybe like a cellar or something. We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of like a stealth nerf. In terms of damage reduction nerfs, we all know they nerfed all of the damage reduction stats. You know, damage reduction from enemies that are poisoned, from close enemies, while fortified. All of this has been nerfed. The only one that hasn't been touched is while injured, but we'll talk about that one a little bit later. In terms of like, for example, on the Tornado Werewolf build, we lost about 20%, like around 20% damage reduction from like 20% EHP, just in terms of damage reduction stats. But that is not considering the armor nerfs that also happened. So they also nerfed like the disobedience aspect, the total armor that we can get as well, the armor while in werewolf form, while in werebear form. Druid is still going to be able to reach the armor cap. How is this? We're going to be able to put a little more armor nodes in our Paragon board. And for example, if we don't use Tempest Roar, there are builds that you can use Tempest Roar on. You can get more armor there. Druid also has access to total armor while in werewolf and in werebear form. These stats are multiplicative with disobedience and total armor. So you have total armor and disobedience, which stack together. They're in the same bucket. So you just add them together. They're additive. And then that final armor value is multiplicative with your total armor while in werewolf or werebear form. So that will make us able to reach 13k armor for the 85% damage reduction cap in Nightmare Dungeons 100. So that is it for armor. So yeah, we're less tanky. Why did they do this? I think it's a very good thing. Like, they bring down everyone to like a more realistic level. They make the game a little bit harder towards the top end. Like, the overworld stuff is still going to be super, super easy, guys. Like, nothing was gonna change for the overworld stuff. Nothing is gonna change for the hell tides. Yes, you'll have to kill more enemies to gather more. You maybe get like 1 or 2 less chests in the hell tides, and like enemies being 1 level higher, that doesn't really matter. That won't change anything. You won't even notice it. I think it's a very good thing. It brings back a little bit of difficulty towards the end, a little bit of chase, a little bit of aspirational content to do. Chasing gear is going to feel more rewarding because we get less of everything. So yeah, I think it's a very good thing. Next thing to talk about is cooldown. They nerfed cooldown quite a bit. It's still going to make cooldown mandatory everywhere if you want to run a Grizzly Rage build, for example. So that doesn't change anything. You just get a little bit more downtime on Grizzly Rage. Does it kill the build? No, absolutely not. Okay. Now let's talk. Well, let's talk while we're here about Grizzly Rage, actually. So they did nerf Grizzly Rage quite a bit. Well, quite a bit. They gave us Unstoppable for 6 seconds only instead of giving us Unstoppable for the entire duration. What does this mean exactly? This means that you will be able to be CC'd once every so often. But they also nerfed the most dangerous CCs in Nightmare Dungeons in high world tiers, which is frozen mobs. So there was a couple of bugs with frozen mobs that they made us they CC'd us way too often. We were the class that was able to get through all CC, no problem. Druid just always unstoppable. Now we'll have some downtime on unstoppable. Does this kill Grizzly Rage builds? Absolutely not. Most of the time, you won't even realize it, actually. So yes, it's a nerf. Does it really impact any of these Grizzly Rage builds? No, it doesn't change anything. Basically, we really don't care. You'll be CC'd once in a while. You just get out of the CC and you just keep spamming your tornadoes, guys. So like it's as easy as that. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about builds a little bit. So if we go into builds, are the builds affected? How have the builds been nerfed or buffed or whatever? Okay. Let's talk about Stormclaw build, right? With the Crone staff. This build still will function. Like the only thing that's gonna change is you'll be CC'd once in a while. Does it make it any less like any worse than it is? No, not really. You'll be CC'd once in a while. You get out of the CC and you just keep killing stuff. Like it's just okay, and it's just like they even buffed the increased attack speed you get, right? So yeah, the Stormclaw build still good. Lightning Storm build, same thing, still good. With Grizzly Rage, still good. Tornado actually got a huge buff. The Werewolf Tornado build got a massive buff. And why is this? Because of Storm Chaser's aspect. Storm Chaser's aspect makes tornadoes seek enemies. This aspect was bugged, and it made our tornadoes deal 0 damage, like maybe like 50% of the time. I've tried doing Lilith here again, and comparing what my damage was before the patch and now with this patch. My damage with this patch on tornadoes is massively improved. I'd say maybe like a 50% buff. It's crazy how much more damage we have right now. So yeah, Tornado got a huge buff. So, but again, people are crying about Grizzly Rage being nerfed and being able to be CC'd, but they don't take into consideration that we have like so much more damage right now. Yeah, so that's it. Pulverize, pretty much the same thing. All version of Shred, pretty much the same thing. I've heard about Poison Shred still being able to one-shot Lilith. Lightning Shred is still good. Everything's still good. You just don't have that bugged interaction with... they fixed the bugged interaction that with Storm Chaser's aspect, Shred was doing way too much damage. So, yeah, that is that. And then what do we have? We have Landslide. So, Trample Slide will still be fine. Still be pretty much the same. There's a new build that is coming out, which is going to be Creeper Slide, I believe. And Creeper Slide, I think I'm going to be theory crafting a lot with this once I reach level 100, especially with the new heart for the companion skill. So it is this aspect here. Poison Creepers active now also casts landslides in a circle around you, right? So how does this work? There it is. You have a bunch of landslides all around you, and then you can use this with your Spirit Boon to Pack Leader to so your crits have a 20% chance to reset the cooldown of your companion skills, and this will reset the cooldown of all of your skills. So Poison Creeper, Ravens, Wolves. Ravens have had a bug fixed that they did not increase in damage when you put more points in them, so now they'll do way more damage. The Wolves, we have a new heart. The heart is the Moon Rage, so your kills have a 5% chance to summon a wolf companion to your side for 20 to 30 seconds, and you gain +3 to wolves. Is this going to be capped? Are we going to be able to get like 20 wolves with +20 to wolves? We'll see. Wolves used to be a really big meme pre-season 1, not being able to clear even trash, but now, who knows? Maybe with like 20 wolves having +25, and then always resetting the cooldown, and then also casting Poison Creeper, immobilizing, getting poison with like ravens, like spamming ravens all the time. Like I think it's gonna be pretty good, guys. I think it's gonna be pretty good. We'll see. We'll have to test a lot more with this. So yeah, Creeper Slide along with the wolves. I think those two builds maybe will go into just like one build, but we'll see. So what else do we have? We have the Earthen Bulwark build. So Earthen Bulwark was the build that was going with like you basically went low life with like spamming Earthen Bulwark with resetting it with the symbiotic aspect that make you reduce your cooldowns and stuff. So now what's gonna happen? They nerfed the symbiotic aspects, so it reduced your cooldown by a lower amount. So you have to maybe go through 2 rotations, like 2 procs, to be able to cast Earthen Bulwark again. And I haven't seen anything about like Earthen Bulwark damage being fixed for mobs over level 100. So Earthen Bulwark's damage increases with the monster level, which made it really easy to kill Nightmare Dungeons 100 while being super tanky. So they did not fix damage reduction while injured. Well, not fixed, but they did not nerf it compared to all of the other damage reduction stats. So you'll still be super tanky with this low life setup, and you should be able to. I don't know. I think Earthen Bulwark is still gonna be fine. It's a slight nerf. You're gonna have to go through 2 rotations, but yeah, we'll see about that. It should still be pretty good. And then there's another buff here that they did into the Spirit Boons. Iron Feather gained 14% maximum life. So it used to be 10%, now it's 14%. This is a pretty significant buff to our EHP. I mean, getting 14% is always better than getting 10%. So pushing Nightmare Dungeons, I was using this because I want to be as tanky as possible. And yeah, Iron Feather is going to be pretty good. So I think that pretty much covers it for the Druid changes for Season 1. Like I said, pretty much all builds are going to be still viable. They buffed Cataclysm. I don't know if this is going to be like really significant enough to warrant choosing it in one of our builds, but I mean, it's still a small buff. People are crying about Grizzly Rage being able to be CC'd. You will still be unstoppable for 6 seconds. So I don't know what we're crying about, right? I really don't know what we're crying about, and I am super excited to try out all the new builds and try out some of the new hearts that are going to be out there. And yeah, I think Season 1 is going to be a theory crafting season, not much as a like an end game content per se, but more of a experimentation season. So I hope you have a great start of Season 1. I'm going to go racing for hardcore solo 100, and I'm going to be playing a druid. I have my build guide that is up on YouTube as well. You can go check that out. It's in the description of the video. I'm going to be playing Lightning Storm. It's going to be a blast, and at least for the very start, and then we'll see what aspect I get, right, and what hearts I get. But yeah, so overall, TLDR, every single build for Druid, pretty much fine, guys. They are pretty much all fine. The one outlier here would be maybe Earthen Bulwark that I don't know. I haven't played it, but yeah, so I think maybe the one that got hit the most is Earth and Bulwark, but then again, maybe not. Still has its damage. Like going through two procs might not be that big of a deal. So we'll see about that. Hope you have a good season 1 start, guys, and I'll see you guys in season 1. Thank you.